Hmm.
Langkah kaki satukan tekad kamu saat mengabdi untuk negeri, untuk bergerak bersama melukis senyum, gerakan mimpi bangsa, memberi inspirasi, mengabdi untuk negeri. Parama, mengajak dunia membangun desa, sinergi dunia, berdayakan desa untuk Indonesia. Parama, mengajak dunia membangun desa, sinergi dunia, berdayakan desa untuk Indonesia. Kami, pemuda-pemudi Parama, akan terus mengabdi untuk bangsa dan tanah air Indonesia. Kami, pemuda-pemudi Parama, satukan tekad penuh semangat untuk membangun desa Indonesia. Parama.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day for everyone. Good afternoon in Indonesian time. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with Parama from the beginning of our journey, as well as those of you who are just tuning in to Parama Festival 3.0, Top Leader Forum, held by Overseas Indonesian Student Association Alliance, or OISAA, in collaboration with the Global Initiative Network Institute, or the Genie Foundation. The topic we will be discussing today is Islamic tourism destinations development during and post-pandemic COVID-19. My name is Vidya Trisandini Azizi, and I will be your MC for today. Before we start, we respectfully ask everyone to turn off their microphone, turn on the camera, sit up straight, and stay focused during the event. Thank you very much. Before we begin, we shall enjoy an opening performance of Indonesian traditional dance performance by both the mentor and the members of Saka Widya Budaya Bakti from Bangka Belitung Island. This dance was specifically created in purpose to welcome special guests that comes to the Nganggung's cultural ceremony. Please enjoy the performance.
Yo!
The beautiful traditional dance performance, Tari Nganggung, is performed by Saka Widya Budaya Bakti from Bangka Belitung Island. To start the main event, we shall hear the opening remarks to welcome everyone. The first opening remark shall be delivered by the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of Republic of Indonesia. Please welcome Mr. Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. From Magelang, Central Java, Indonesia, I would like to apologize for not seeing you by Zoom directly. Good afternoon, and I hope all of us are in great health and happiness. Honorable Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Mr. Furkat Bek Sidik, Governor of Bangka Belitung, my good friend. Bangka Belitung Island is a beautiful province. My brother, my very best buddy, Mr. Erzaldi Rosman. Deputy Mayor of Bursa Province, Turkey, Mr. Ahmet Yildiz. Teşekkür. COVID-19 has created a lot of impacts in all sectors and every level, in particular tourism and creative economy sector, which is one of the sectors that is affected by the pandemic as well. As a result, many people lose their jobs and many entrepreneurs has challenges and subsequently collapse. As countries which have beautiful nature and history like Indonesia, tourism sector in Uzbekistan and Turkey play a vital role in accelerating the economy among the people. During the pandemic, we have to struggle to make the conditions stable, and these days we try to accelerate the vaccinations. We're also trying to encourage people in tourism and creative economy sectors who got impacted through the bailout so they can have several alternative income to circulate their business. Besides, Indonesia is planning to open international tourist border in the third quarter during these hard times. We have to be optimistic that these actions will help people in tourism sector and trigger the economy among the society. It's our pleasure to have a high-level speaker in the event who holds by the Global Initiative Network Institute, the Guinea, that Mr. Farhan Mayendri led the collaborations with PPI Dunia or Overseas Indonesian Student Associations under Mr. Khoirul Anam. I believe that all the speakers will share positive experiences from these three different countries, especially in Islamic tourism destinations that we have in Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey. Together, we can learn the best practice and implement in the real life. Adaptations, collaborations, and innovations are the necessary movements that we could do during and post-pandemic. Congratulations for this Top Leader Forum event held by the Guinea and PPI Dunia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I officially open this forum and let's learn, solve, and practice together. Stay safe and stay healthy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the serenity and wisdom. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi Santi Santi Om.
Thank you to Mr. Sandiaga Uno for the first opening remark. Now, for the second opening remark, please welcome the President of the Gini Foundation, Mr. Farhan Kurnia Mayendri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ms. Vidya. The Honorable Mr. His Excellency Furkat Beksidik, my good friend from Uzbekistan. The Honorable Mr. Erzaldi, the Governor of Bangka Belitung Islands Province. The Honorable Mr. Hamad Yildiz from Bursa, Turkey. And my really awesome friend, our moderator, Mr. Niwa Dwitama. Thank you to the all committee led by Mr. Usama Takyudin and friends, and also my colleagues in the Gini, Mr. Gesta Nurbiansyah, and thank you to the all audiences from different nations. The Gini has mission to elaborate all resources by creating a global initiation among the network we are exist to present the solution of global order to improve the wealth of the people. We are committed to support the acceleration of global society by implementing global and locally. Top Leader Forum 1.0 is just the beginning, And we hope that we can create an initiation between Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey through this event and give a positive, real impact to our nation, Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey. I hope that this event can inspire many youth people and also many people from different backgrounds in Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey. And Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, we can enjoy this event and we can get many things that we want to do in the future. That's all from me, Farhan Kurnia Mendri from the Global Initiation Network Institute. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Farhan, for the opening remark. Now, for the last opening remark, it shall be delivered by the Director of Movement and Community Service of OISAA. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Raihan Hanif Usama.
Thank you, Mbak Vidya. And to begin, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Raihan Hanif Usama, and I'm a mechanical engineering master student in South Korea. And I would like to express my large gratitude for the opportunity to attend such a large event with such inspiring opening speaker, such as Your Excellency, Mr. Sandiaga Uno, our respected Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Kurnia Mayendri, President of Global Initiative Network Institute. Also, it is such an honor to welcome our knowledgeable speakers as Professor Saparudin Masyarif, Special Staff Governor of Bangka Belitung Island, Your Excellency, Mr. Furkat Begsidik, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Uzbekistan, and Mr. Ahmed Yildiz, Deputy Mayor of Bursa Metropolitan Municipality, Republic of Turkey. Once again, it is such an honor to be able to welcome all of you here. I believe that your presence will have a huge impact and give a lot of knowledge to all of us. First, I would like to start with the fact that during this pandemic, the world economy experienced a slowdown in the halal tourism sector. As known, halal tourism sector is hard hit by the pandemic COVID-19, especially in the sector of transport that many set on the restriction of physical distance. And this COVID have hit the international community and Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey included in it. We are battling COVID-19 by modifying policy quarantine, are into large-scale social restriction locally according to the severity in the province, district, or town. And it is commonly acknowledged that halal tourism has enormous potential, has big potential to contribute significantly to the development of the national economy. And as a result, halal tourism must be substantially encouraged by the transportation sector in this scenario, which means the availability of a safe and healthy transportation sector is an important thing that must exist during the COVID-19 pandemic, so that halal tourism environmental can run properly. And not only that, not only transportation sector, we must also consider a lot of aspects such as improving destination, preparing budget support, providing mitigation SOPs, and strengthening regulation for tourists from abroad entering Indonesia. And that's why today, with the help of our reputable speakers, we will probably answer and discuss four matters. First, discussing the insight of how COVID-19 pandemic affect Islamic tourism and halal hospitality all over the world. Second, sharing the insight regarding challenge and opportunities that arise in Islamic tourism. Third, providing an overview of best practices and strategies by various stakeholders all over the world to overcome the devastating impact. And last but not least, discussing the strategies to strengthen the bilateral relationship of Uzbekistan, Turkey, and Indonesia as countries with major importance in Islamic tourism. Like we all know that our country is the largest Muslim country in the world. And last but not least, I want to ensure that PPI Dunia, our beloved community, is willing to contribute to this global agenda, um, to to give a lot of help to Indonesian people, because this Parama event is the largest community service program, and it is hoped that this will be concrete evidence of Indonesian students abroad playing a role in running second track diplomacy. And our hope is that there will be an output of cooperation between the Indonesian government and the Uzbekistan government and the Turkish government as well. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Raihan, for the opening remark. Now that we have listened to all the opening speech, before we proceed to the main event, allow me to introduce our moderator that will lead the discussion today. Our moderator is none other than Mr. Niwa Dwitama, a graduate of Columbia University, one young world ambassador in South Africa, and the third secretary for Economic Affairs, Indonesia Mission to the UN, WTO, and the other international organizations in Geneva. To Mr. Niwa Dwitama, please take the lead.
Thank you, Ms. Vidya, for very kind introduction. And good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm streaming in from Geneva here, and I believe some of you are accessing this streaming online from across the globe as well. First of all, to our distinguished speaker, His Excellency Furqat Siddiqov, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and the Honorable Governor of Bangka Belitung, Dr. Erzaldi Rosman, as well as our third speaker, Deputy Mayor of Bursa Metropolitan Municipality, Republic of Turkey, Mr. Ahmed Yildiz. Thank you very much for the trust for me as the moderator of our discussion today. I'm truly honored by this initiative conducted by the OISAA and the Global Network Initiative Institute, which is a great network and initiative that really shows how young Indonesians across the globe, despite of the distances, they are still eager to be able to contribute. And today, on this very Saturday, we can see that hundreds of people are streaming into our Zoom discussion today to participate in the discussion of a very important topic, Islamic tourism destination development during and post-pandemics. To quote one of the statement from our tourism minister of Indonesia, that the devastation of tourism all across the world in Indonesia, Uzbekistan, Turkey, and all across the globe indeed has suffered many of our people who are actually employed in the sector of tourism. Tourism is an important source of the income. The collapse in international travel due to the COVID-19 great lockdown represents, according to the UN World Tourism Organization, an estimated of 1.1 trillion US dollar in export revenues, more than 11 times the loss recorded during the 2009 global economic crisis. Asia and Pacific saw an 84% decrease in international arrivals in 2020. Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, UNW World Tourism Organization extended scenarios for 2021 and 2024 indicate that it could take between 2.5 years and even 4 years for international tourism to return to 2019 levels, which is the pre-pandemic level. And this Islamic tourism is no exception to this condition. But of course, through this discussion and exchange of ideas, we are hopeful that we can bridge the gap. We are trying to find best practices on how that the recovery of the Islamic tourism can excel, on how that the employment in tourism can recover sooner than later. So it is very fortunate for all of us today that we are having the three speakers who are really expert on its own field to talk about the Islamic tourism destination development during and the post-pandemic. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon our first speaker and then mention the curriculum vitae and then video promotion before the presentation of the speaker. All right, so the first speaker of our discussion today is the governor of Bangka Belitung Island, Dr. Elzaldi Rosman. Dr. Elzaldi Rosman is born in Pangkal Pinang, the 31st October 1969, and then he is currently the governor of Bangka Belitung Island. He graduates from the Institute of Public Administration of Canada in 2013, as well as Harvard John F. Kennedy School of Government, DCLUT, or Executive Education Training Program for the head of regional representative. And then aside of in the public policy or governmental position, he previously had high position in business sector as well. He was the managing director of Bumi Citra FS in 1993 and 1999, as well as the director of PT Belma Bangun Propertindo. He also assumed his position as the member of the regional member representative of province Babel Bangka Belitung province, as well as the of Bangka Belitung Tengah municipality back in 2016 and 2017. Now, with all these credentials, without further ado, before commencing the presentation, I would like to inform all the audiences that the presentation of the governor of Bangka Belitung will be presented by Professor Safruddin. And before starting the presentation, I would like to give the time for the committee to play a video promotion from Bangka Belitung and the governor of Bangka Belitung.
The most famous things we can do in Bangka Belitung is nature. We have beach, underwater, and many things we can do in Bangka Belitung.
Welcome to Bangka Belitung Island. Enjoy our beauty nature. Come and explore one of the best hidden paradise in Asia.
Magnificent video, to say the least. Now, before I give the floor to Professor Parudin, who will present the presentation on behalf of the Governor of Bangka Belitung, I would like to inform the audience that should you have any questions in the middle of the discussion, please feel free to throw it through the chat on the right side of the Zoom. Now, I'd like to give the floor to Professor Parudin. The time is yours, Professor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Niwa Dwitama, the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia, the Honorable Speakers, Your Excellency, Mr. Forkat Bek Sidik, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Uzbekistan, Your Excellency, Mr. Ahmed Yudis, Deputy Mayor, Bursa Metropolitan Municipality of Republic of Turkey, the Honorable Mr. Farhan Kurnia Mayendri, as President of Global Initiative Network Institute, the Honorable Mr. Khairul Anam, as a Coordinator of Overseas Indonesian Students Association Alliance, the Honorable, the all participants in this forum, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to apologize to the government of the Bangka Belitung Island for not being able to attend in this forum. Please allow me to deliver a presentation from the governor. In this topic, I would like to inform you the opportunities, challenges, and strategies of Bangka Belitung toward a world halal tourism destination. Please, my presentation. Sorry, Mr. Moderator. I or operator to present the presentation.
Yes, Professor. I think the committee is trying to display the presentation now.
Yes.
Hopefully it will appear soon, but if you may, you might want to continue a bit and hopefully it will come right after. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. The Bangka Belitung toward a world halal tourism destination, opportunities, challenge, and strategies. All participants, the meaning of the halal tourism. Halal tourism is not a substitute for the existing tourism concept, but more of adding the extra services. Those include amenities, about facilities, extraction, accessibilities, and actor to meet the needs of Muslim tourists for travel. For instance, accessible halal foods in hotels, spirit swimming pool for women, Muslim women, spirited public bathroom for men and women, prayer rooms, and additional facilities and services which comply with the law. Indonesia, Bangka Belitung halal tourism, as many as 3 millions of 20% of foreign tourists who visited Indonesia in 2019 are Muslim tourists. Indonesia was named the best halal tourism in the world from the GMTI Global Muslim Travel Index, moving up a spot from the previous year second ranking. Bangka Belitung is among the top 10 priority and superior travel destinations in Indonesia. However, Bangka Belitung has not yet been included in the top 10 best halal travel destinations by the GMTI. In regard to this, in the Congress Umat Islam Indonesia, the 7th Indonesia Muslim Congress in 2020, the government of Bangka Belitung Islands strengthened its commitment to make this Negeri Serumpun Sebalai, Negeri Serumpun Sebalai as a Bangka Belitung tagline, a halal travel destination. This action taken is fully supported by our Vice President, Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Ma'ruf Amin, and the Chairman of the Indonesian Ulama Council, MUI, Mr. K. Haji Muhyiddin Junaidi, who at that Congress was present and delivering a every year, the government of Bangka Belitung facilitate the acquisition of halal certificate by financing and training 500 to micro, small, and medium enterprises. LPP OM MUI Indonesia and LPP OM MUI UI Bubble have released 68,985 halal certificate to hotel restaurants, non-hotel restaurants, and MSMI product in Bangka Belitung. Bubble already has a local regulation regarding the implementation of halal and safe food guarantee. Local regulation regarding the guidance and supervision for tour guides in Bangka Belitung. Bubble has 3 Syariah hotels, 2 in Belitung and 1 in Bangka. Muslim makes up 30% of the world population. Bangka Belitung has been now internationally as one of the top travel destinations in Indonesia. Geographically speaking, Bangka Belitung is relatively accessible from cities or countries like from Jakarta, Singapore, and Malaysia. It takes only an hour by plane. The government of Bangka Belitung and the Indonesian Ulama Council of Bangka Belitung have planned to hold an international halal congress in Bangka Belitung in 2022. This plan has been proposed to the Indonesian Ulama Council at the 2020 Congress in Bangka Belitung. Strategies. Drafting a regulation in the form of local regulation regarding halal tourism in Bangka Belitung, like in NTB province in Indonesia, have the local regulation of the halal tourism. Second, compiling a roadmap regarding halal tourism in Bubble in accordance to the local regulation of Tourism Development Master Plan 2016 to 2025. encouraging the growth of Syariah hotel and Syariah tourism services, encouraging the growth of halal restaurants by granting a halal certificate, organizing a halal lifestyle festival regularly. Next, the strengthening the branding and promotion of halal tourism via social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and so on, and news outlet, preparing the people involved in this halal tourism by engaging them into tourism school, encouraging tour and travel agencies to offer halal tour packet. Recommendation, drafting regulation and local government policies to ensure and manage various aspects of halal tourism. Compiling roadmaps, strategies, and quick wins of halal tourism in Babel. Strengthening and enhancing additional services of halal tourism, including for amenities, attraction, accessibilities, and actor to meet the needs of Muslim tourists for travel in Bangka Belitung. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Saparudin, for your interesting presentation this afternoon. So I highlighted a number of important points on your presentation on how Bangka Belitung has evolved to become one of the top, not only tourism destinations in Indonesia, because of the beauty of its nature, the magnificent attraction that it offers, but also the potential of this Sharia tourism, given the facility, the amenity, the accessibility, as you said. There are a number of points where Islamic population or Muslim population from across the globe can enter Bangka Belitung within the region of Southeast Asia, as well as the regulation. From that point of view, Bangka Belitung has equipped itself with a number of policies and regulations that can accommodate and encourage the development of the Sharia tourism in the region. Now, of course, there are challenges, and we will deep dive and talk more about that during the Q&A session. Once again, thank you, Professor Saparudin. Now, allow me to go to our next speaker, which would definitely provide an interesting view regarding the Islamic tourism destination from Uzbekistan. His Excellency Furqat Siddiqov, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan. His Excellency Furqat Siddiqov.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Professor, good afternoon. Allow me to inform the audience about your background first, and then I will give the time to you, if I may. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you.
His Excellency Furqat Siddiqov is born on the 7th of February 1971 in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. He graduated from Tashkent State Technical University. In 2015 to 2020, he assumed ambassadorship of Republic of Uzbekistan to Pakistan. And then he has also assumed his tenure in the United States of America, 2011, 2015, as well as 2002 until 2007. Aside of that, he also was the leading specialist of the Institute for Strategic and Regional Studies under the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. So without further ado, given the expertise in international relations and diplomacy of His Excellency Furqat Siddiqov as well, we are honored to have you today. And before I give the time to you, Excellency, allow us to play the video of the promotion of Uzbekistan.
Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Since ancient times, Uzbekistan has been recognized as one of the global centers of civilization, and most notably a treasury of the centuries-old values of Islamic heritage. The Hazrat Imam Ensemble, located in Tashkent, is an inseparable part of the intangible heritage of Uzbekistan. Inside is a relic revered across the Muslim world, a Quranic manuscript belonging to Caliph Usman. This holy text was inscribed on deer skins at the behest of the third Caliph Usman ibn Affan in the 1st century Hijri, the 7th century AD. Historical records show that 6 copies of it, the only surviving copy, held in the library complex. As 8 August 2030, generation to generation. It was kept in different countries and in different manuscript collocations. The government of Uzbekistan then decided to give the sacred Usman Quran to the Muslim Board of Uzbekistan. According to legend, Caliph Usman was assassinated while reading his Quran. His holy blood still stains the pages of the book. The manuscript was written in the Kufic script, and it is often referred as the letter of Hijazi. There are a total of 338 pages, each measuring 53 by 68 centimeters. Nowadays, everyone, from the old to the young, citizens of Uzbekistan and the representatives of nations around the world, pay their respects at the Hazrat Imam Ensemble. They come here to see the ancient copy of the Quran and to experience the blessings of the holy relic.
Yeah, thank you. A very moving presentation of the video of Uzbekistan Islamic tourism. Now, I'd like to give the floor and the time to His Excellency Furqat Siddiqov. Your Excellency, the time is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dear participants and of the conference and their friends. First of all, I would like to thank Overseas Indonesian Students Association Alliance and my dear friend Parfat for opportunity to participate in this top leader forum. It should be noted that peoples of Indonesia and Uzbekistan are bound by common historical and cultural ties, similarities of national costumes and traditions, as well as religion of Holy Islam. The richness of Uzbekistan historical monuments and Islamic manuscripts is evidence of the flourishing of the science and culture in the past, especially in the Middle Age, so-called Islamic Renaissance time. Today, more than 7,000 cultural heritage masterpieces, thousands of the archaeological objects have been found on the territory of the Uzbekistan. Therefore, since of early years of independence of Uzbekistan, great attention has been paid to restoration and repairs of these monuments, support of archaeological research, construction of new museums such as Memorial Complex of Imam al-Bukhari in Samarkand, Memorial Complex of the Islamic Saint Bahauddin Naqshband in Bukhara, the famous Asian philosopher and Sufi, Mausoleum of the Hazrat at-Tirmizi, Chashma Ayub Mausoleum in Bukhara, Mausoleum of Khwaja Daniel, Prophet Daniel in Samarkand. The most unique manuscript, the attention of the Muslims all over the world, is the Quran of Hazrat Usman. Now is stored in the Museum of the Office of Museum of Uzbekistan. Today you have chance to see documentary about this Quran. In the near future, it is planned to build new places of pilgrimage in Uzbekistan as the largest centers of their tourism. Works are being carried out: restoration of the Mausoleum of Imam al-Bukhari in Samarkand, Museum of Islamic History in Bukhara, and Center of Islamic Civilization in Tashkent. At the initiative of the UZ Standard Agency, the halal standard was introduced in Uzbekistan. Based on the adoption of the standards in our country, the volume of exporting food products and potential for tourism in Uzbekistan are increasing. Interest in food products and service of the halal label is increasing day by day. The term of halal tourism began to be used more closely in our region. The special website, Halal Uzbekistan Travel, is being developed to place information for tourists on recommended hotels, public catering places, and other instruction in halal tourism. In restaurants in Uzbekistan, the halal standard is also being implemented. International airport and railway stations have allocated place room for Muslims. In 2022, pilgrimage visa issued by period of 2 months and the system of determining the rating of Muslim hotel service were introduced in our country. Even during the coronavirus pandemic, the leadership of Uzbekistan continues its efforts to strengthen the foundation of the tourism. The decree of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, dated February 9, 2021, on measures of further develop domestic and pilgrim tourism in Uzbekistan was signed. The decree contains a number of subsidies for our tour operators and travel agencies. In priority program, restoration of the cultural heritage sites uses routes of the year of tourism in 2021-2025. A roadmap on the participation of the foreign tourists and creation of the favorable condition for them, and list of movies about the saints and pilgrims of different regions of Uzbekistan was adopted. A new Imam al-Bukhari TV channel is being created to popularize and promote Zara tourism and priceless heritage of the great scholars and figures, including Imam al-Bukhari, several languages, particularly in Bahasa, Indonesia. It's planned to restore the modern Museum of Islamic History and famous figure of the Muslim world in Bukhara and complex of Islamic and cultural heritage in Samarkand. Cooperation between Uzbekistan and Indonesia in Zara tourism, including Muslim-friendly tourism, developing rapidly. In cooperation with Indonesian Sahid Hotels and Resorts Company on the creation of the halal tourism infrastructure in Bukhara, a new Shahid Zarafshan Hotel was built in 2022. Currently, the company is restoring the Hotel Shahid Royal Places Samarkand in Samarkand. Within the premise of the project, Shahid Hotels and Resorts Company provides hotel management and introduce new standards of the serve of the tourism, including Islamic tourism. An agreement on conformity assessment, standardization methodology, and technical assistance was signed between the Uzbek Standard Agency and National Standardization Agency of Indonesia. According to the agreement, the parties exchanged mutual recognition of the certification issued in industrial products, and the future will serve as an important source of the creation of the halal certification system, which bases on the halal industry. In addition, in cooperation with the Gandarama University of the Indonesian and the base of the Bukhara State University, they will launch training courses, especially in the areas of the Indonesian language. Halal tourism service and student exchange program was established. In 2022, 2,000 students visited Bukhara in order to research the architecture of Islamic cultural monuments in Uzbekistan. As a result, in March 2022, Imam Bukhari Mosque was opened in Indonesia. The mosque was built on the initiative of the ambassador of Uzbekistan to Indonesia for tourism, Eko Marti, the rector of the Gandarama University, and designed by architectural students of the Gandarama University. We are very appreciative for these efforts. In July 2021, it is planned to sign Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the field of tourism. between the government of the Republic of Uzbekistan and the Republic of Indonesia. A budget of the 3 million was allocated by Standard Agency for the establishment of halal certification laboratory in Bukhara. The project will be implemented in the cooperation with Indonesian specialists. Currently, negotiations are underway with the Indonesian Citylink company on the establishment of charter flights between the two countries. I think right now we have only one problem between our countries, it's problem of logistics. So inshallah, with these flights, we will solve this only one problem between two countries. In addition, account the favorable prices for visit of Uzbekistan and Umrah plus Uzbekistan, travel packages and air transportation, interest on the part of Indonesian travel agencies has increased. Work on attracting tourists as a new direction, Zara tourism, halal tourism, has been started by major Indonesian tourist associations, including Ampuri and Himpu. Along with this, series of footage and presentation about the historical cities of Uzbekistan are demonstrated in Indonesian media market. For instance, this year, Indonesian Net TV prepared a video about various monuments and sites of Uzbekistan. With the framework of Muslim Travels television program, the first documentary dedicated to Samarkand was shown and attracted the attention more than 5 million Indonesian audience. The participants of the conference. At the end of my speech, I express my deep gratitude once again for the meeting and held in a friendly and sincere spirit. Taking this opportunity, I would like to invite all of you to pay a visit to Uzbekistan, land of Imam Bukhari, At-Tirmidhi, Bahauddin Naqshbandi, and thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. What a great presentation of Uzbekistan and its Islamic tourism. As you said, as the crossroad of civilizations and the heart of the Silk Road, Uzbekistan indeed is one of the top destinations for Sharia or Islamic tourism. And I think on your presentation, you have very well presented to us a number of important policies that Uzbekistan has adapted towards the COVID pandemic situation and how it can deal with the recovery out of the pandemic situation as well. That includes this safe travel guaranteed policy with the COVID-19 regulation, the tourist policy you have also presented, which is an interesting program, open skies regime, and there are indeed, as you said, around 90 countries free visa regime at the moment, starting from 15 March of 2020. And these are some of
200 countries. 200
sorry?
countries.
Oh, 200 countries, apologies. So there are 200 countries even more. So those are enormous number. And hopefully this is one of the strategies that can help revive the tourism in Uzbekistan. But of course, there are still many factors, Excellency, not only the policy from the domestic of Uzbekistan, but there are factors that comes from external as well, how the international world can also recover. That will be one of the interesting points to be discussed later on the Q&A and discussion session. Once again, thank you very much, Your Excellency, Deputy Foreign Minister of Uzbekistan. Thank you very much. Now, to friends, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to proceed to our next speaker, which would definitely give us an interesting point of view, given his background as well. Our third speaker is Mr. Ahmed Yildiz. Assalamualaikum. Good morning, Mr. Ahmed. I believe it is still morning in Bursa, Turkey, so we share the time zone here. Now, allow me to introduce you a bit first. Mr. Ahmed Yildiz is the current Deputy Mayor of Bursa Metropolitan Municipality, the Republic of Turkey. He graduated and completed university education at London Middlesex University, Department of Marketing and Business. He was engaged in commercial activities of the family company related to home textiles in 2009, which employed 150 people at a time. The company has a closed area of 20,000 meters square and employs 150 people. The company owns a fully integrated facility and exports to more than 20 countries, including domestic sales. Between 2007 and 2010, he served as the vice president in charge of foreign relations of the Bursa Provincial Youth branch of the Justice and Development Party. So no wonder that he is a very fit person of our speaker for this OISAA forum this afternoon. In the local election held in 2004, he took office as a member of Municipal Council of Bursa Metropolitan Municipality, which is to continue his duty. And now he is the deputy mayor of Bursa Metropolitan Municipality. Given this business and politic background and leadership, we are hoping that you would be able to share views on the strategies of Islamic tourism destination in Bursa and Turkey in general, and how it can cope with the impact of pandemic COVID-19. Mr. Ahmed Yildiz, before I give the floor to you, allow me to play the video of promotion that will be played. The comedy, please.
I am Bursa. I am a World Heritage Site from the depths of history. I am a depository of civilizations on the foothills of Mount Uludağ. I am the ancient capital of the Ottoman Empire and its enduring spirit. I am Bursa. I am the prayers and calligraphy of the Ulu Mosque. I am the tiles and ceramics that give the Green Mosque its name. I am the houses of worship in Iznik, once home to Romans, Byzantines, Seljuks, and Ottomans. I am the Muradia Mosque complex, where life and death, dreams and reality, poignance and joy are contemplated. I am a boundless land of legends, the living cultural heritage of Jumalıkızık, the sun setting on Gölyaza Lake. I am nature's gift to humanity. I am the color green in all its shades. I, a centuries-old sycamore, tones of blue and green, sun and lake, am Bursa. I am the eternal beauty of the Longos forest. I am the rushing waters of the Sai Tabat and Suhuchtu Falls. I am a city of flavors, where history meets gastronomy. I am crispy jontik from a wood-fired oven. I am the finest olives and olive oil. I am the birthplace of Bursa kebab. I am köfte with pide and inegern köfte, that is, a paradise of Turkish-style meatballs. I delight palates with sensational flavors, like soft tahini pide and candied chestnuts. I am a land of fresh fruit and nature's bounty. I am paragliding between sky and forest. I am the center for adrenaline and nature sports. I am the timeless shadow puppets, karagas and hajavats. I am handicrafts at Erganda Bridge, a steel knife forged in fire, a smooth silk shawl from Kozahan, a handcrafted Iznik tile. I am the last stop before Europe on the Silk Road, the covered bazaar. I am so much more than a city. I am Bursa.
Magnificent video, and the Bursa kebab has suddenly made me hungry. Deputy Mayor, thank you very much. Very beautiful video, and hopefully someday I can visit, and we all can visit Bursa. Not only Istanbul, that is one of the most popular part of the Turkey. All right, now I'd like to give the floor to you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, Mr. Ahmed Yildiz. The time is yours. Mr. Amatildis, if you may, you could unmute your profile. I believe we have not heard you. Can you hear my voice? Probably the committee can also help. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Ahmedildis, can you unmute perhaps? Yeah, but I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you so far. It seems that on your profile, it's not being muted. Indeed, there is no mute logo, but unfortunately, we cannot hear you. I believe the committee can help us with this technique. Yeah, okay, great, perfect.
Now you hear me?
Now we can hear you clearly, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Selamun Aleyküm, dear brothers and sisters and dear participants. I would like to welcome Dr. Erzaldi Rosman, Governor of Banka Beliring, Mr. Furtabek Selik, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and dear participants, I would like to say thanks for this important organization and congratulate the organizers for their success in organizing this meaningful event, which are proud to attend. Bursa, which was the capital of Bithynia, Rome, Byzantine, Seljuk, and Ottoman states, took its name from the king of Bithynia, Prusas, and carries all the traces of all these civilizations. Along with social harmony, the city incorporates natural beauties, healthy waters, a deep history, a rich culture, excellent gastronomy, and all kinds of touristic options. Hosting more than 3 million tourists initially and providing investment opportunities with the robust economy, Bursa is a treasure waiting to be discovered with the temperate climate and quality agricultural products in a fertile soils. Besides being situated and an intersection point for Europe, Asia, and the Arabian Peninsula, Bursa is a city combining land, air, sea, and rail systems and all transportation options. Bursa is a deep history is reflected in many ways. The city might be considered as an open-air museum with its monumental structures. It's a rich of cultural events with the international music, cinema, folk dance, theater, and art festivals, and it's a great venue, especially for tourists from Muslim countries, due to the great number of monumental Islamic structures, cultures, and social life. The city was inscribed and the UNESCO World Heritage List is a 1998 heritage site with its file and date, Bursa and Cumalı Kızıl birth of Ottoman Empire. Bursa is also a part of the UNESCO Intangible Culture Heritage with Karagöz shadow play and the art of making. And İznik district, which is an UNESCO temporary heritage list, is expected to be declared as a World Heritage soon. The city is also expecting to become a member of the UNESCO Creative Cities Network and submitted its application to the network in 2021. Bursa has 7 core locations declared and UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which all reflects and culture and arts of spiritual life on the Ottoman Empire. These locations are Islamic complexes built by on the sultans of the empire, the Ulu Cami Grand Mosque, and a 600-year-old Ottoman village called Cumalı Kızık. But as I said in the beginning of my presentation, Bursa was home to many civilizations before the Ottoman Empire, and there are still the traces of old civilizations such as monumental Byzantine structures. In addition to Bithynia, there are many important structures from the Roman era, such as the Roman theater, obelisk, aqueduct, and the city walls. Although Bursa is mainly preferred by visitors from Islamic countries due to Bursa's deep spiritual culture, there are also important monumental buildings for the Christian world, such as Hagia Sophia or Ham Mosque, where Christians pilgrims visit. Bursa's great cultural assets are its Ottoman structures and the cultures that is still preferred today. Being the first capital of the Ottoman Empire, Bursa has numerous monumental buildings such as the Bursa has Emir Sultan Complex, the tombs of Osman Gazi and Orhan Gazi, which are the founders of the Ottoman Empire, İznik Green Mosque, and the Tophane Clock Tower. Yıldırım Complex, Murat Hüdavendigar Complex, and Muradiye Complex are the pinnacle of the Ottoman architecture, which are still preserved and used today. Üftade Mosque and the tomb is a very important place for the Islamic world and home to Mehmet Muhyiddin, a spiritual leader of the Ottoman Empire and the Islamic community. Also, Green Complex is a work of art visited by all tourists in Bursa. Ulu Cami Mosque is one of the most important places of the worship of the Islamic world and visited by every tourist coming to our city. The old city center of Bursa has many khans and bazaars that we are used for the trade for centuries and are still considered the heart of the city. Kozahan and Urganda Bridge are two particularly important buildings which are considered among the top 10 places to visit in Bursa. As it can be understood, Bursa has a great tourism potential, and on the top 10 countries that visit Bursa are from Islamic countries, namely Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Syria, Iraq, and Qatar. The tourism sector is a sector that rapidly affected by international negative developments. The COVID-19 pandemic that has emerged has taken the whole world under its influence. Since 2010, the number of foreign tourists in Bursa has steadily increased by about 10% every day, thanks to the increasing popularity of Bursa's spiritual values among Islamic countries. Also, hotel capacity has increased in parallel with new tourism facilities investments. However, in 2019, with the start of the pandemic in March, the decrease of incoming visitors 72 compared to 2018. With increased restrictions of international travel, 2020 was a year of the legal touristic activities all around the world. The structure of a destination and the perception of safety are the most important reasons for the tourist when they make a decision to travel, considering the possible changes and innovations that may occur on tourism sector after COVID-19. Extensive studies are carried out for the new routes and destinations. The concept of Islamic tourism is a type of a tourism that has been accepted in our country and in the world. Halal tourism, which is expected by Islamic communities, has a strong infrastructure is in our country and especially in Bursa, which receives most of its visitors for Islamic countries. All of the tourism facilities are companies of the Bursa can meet the demands Muslims tourists such as accommodation, transportation, food and beverage in accordance with Islamic beliefs and values. Turkey and Bursa has a great tourism potential with its geography, history, and being in the middle of contentious geographies, it's important to promote halal tourism on the one hand, attract the attention of Muslim consumers, and one of the other hand to prove a settling to decision makers and investors who can mobilize resources for the investment and opportunities. But the greatest opportunity is a good relation with our brotherly countries, which we have a rich spiritual bond and mutual spiritual values, and these need to be interacted and highlighted more. Bursa, the first capital of the Ottoman state, has a rich nature, making it an especially popular place for Islamic countries in the Middle East and Indonesia and Malaysia. Bursa is a well-known city in terms of spiritual tourism and attracts many visitors. Therefore, touristic facilities, operators, and the hotels in Bursa designed their companies in accordance to halal tourism to meet expectations for these visitors. Considering the initial number of foreign tourists visiting Bursa, the annual percentage of the tourists from Islamic countries is 51% on an average. The number of the tourists coming from Indonesia constitutes 12% of this rate. Although the number of Indonesian visitors are high in Bursa, the average time spent in Bursa considerably low compared to Qatari tourists who visit our country for 3 nights and Saudi Arabian tourists who visit our for 2 nights. We believe that Bursa has a lot of more than to offer Indonesian guests and prolong their duration in Bursa. For this reason, Bursa needs to keep doing promotional activities like fairs, influencer promotions, social media promotions, etc., and create a new ways of cooperation between Indonesian and Turkish tourism professionals, NOCs, and academia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for a very comprehensive and interesting presentation of yours about Bursa in the Republic of Turkey. With that presentation, we are now aware how Bursa, as the first capital of the Ottoman state, a city of UNESCO and all its cultural and Islamic tradition, has made it one of the top destinations for Islamic tourism destination, undoubtedly. And then, indeed, as you mentioned, pandemic COVID-19 has provided a devastating impact. Almost 70% of the tourism decline, and it has been more than a year that we are in such a mire of COVID-19 situation. However, as you presented, there are indeed a number of opportunities and a number of steps that the Bursa and your municipality has taken in order to revive the tourism sector, as well as to deal with the recovery that we are hopefully soon to have after the vaccination is getting higher and higher. So we are hopeful about that. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed Yildiz, for a very interesting presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, given all the 3 speakers that we have today have presented all their region, all their policies, as well as steps and strategies in order to tackle the impact of pandemic-19 situation. Now, I'd like to move to the discussion session with our 3 speakers now. Before we open up to Q&A question session, allow me to exercise my privilege as a moderator to be able to ask our distinguished speakers today on a number of targeted questions so that we can have more and deeper exchange of views upon all the presentation that they have. I think I will go first to Professor Saparudin on behalf of the governor of Bangka Belitung. Professor, you mentioned a number of policies that has been implemented in Bangka Belitung, and we know that there are enormous opportunities in Bangka Belitung, not only with magnificent nature, as we can see on the video, it's very beautiful. There are the facilities as well for Sharia tourism to prevail in this part of the country. Now, my question is, as you know, Indonesia itself is a Muslim, highly populated country. The market is huge there. And of course, even with Muslim population of Indonesia itself,
30%.
perhaps Bangka Belitung, yeah, Bangka Belitung can have a huge number of visitors, right? But what is the strategy of Bangka Belitung specifically to attract the international travelers? Because in terms of allocation of budget, for example, maybe there are more, budget need to be allocated. But at the same time, there are big opportunities, from 30% of Islamic tourists that can come all over the countries, including from Turkey and including from Uzbekistan as well. So are there any specific current strategy to attract international visitors, or maybe the future strategy, given the fact that we hopefully soon to enter the recovery phase of the pandemic situation?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Niwa Ditama. Thank you, Mr. Furkat and Mr. Ahmed, for your presentation. I would like to answer the question from Niwa Ditama. I think in this current condition in Bangka Belitung, with the pandemic COVID-19 in current condition in Bangka Belitung, want to move, want to move to out of pandemic. Have
To the
we want
recovery.
the recovery, and now in my presentation, the governor want to the local regulation from tourism in Bangka Belitung, and have the halal food, the more the halal food certification in the Bangka Belitung, to the and now prepare the destination in the halal restaurant, halal hotel, the halal hotel, in the Bangka Belitung, and now we have small the hotel, only 2 hotel in Belitung, in the halal hotel. In the Bangka have 1 halal hotel. I think the governor have we want to adding the hotel in the halal hotel, and I think the presentation from Mr. Furkat and Mr. Ahmed Excellency, I think I know that Turkey and Uzbekistan are countries that have many tourist attraction. Several months ago, the governor of Bangka Belitung informed me that he would like be visiting to Uzbekistan and Turkey. However, because the COVID pandemic was still ongoing, he postponed it until condition got better. I think the halal tourism can be license for tourist visit to the 3 countries, Uzbekistan and Turkey. I think we have the big Muslim in Indonesia, in Turkey and Uzbekistan, I think the Muslim tourists, I think they offer the tourists from Uzbekistan to Indonesia, especially to Bangka Belitung, and also from Turkey come to Indonesia, especially and to Bangka Belitung. I think so.
Yeah, thank you, Professor.
Yeah.
And because hopefully the government and you yourself can visit Uzbekistan and Turkey, Bursa soon when the travel restriction is cancelled and the health epidemiological situation is getting better for sure. But Professor, to get back to the question a little bit, so would I be able to say that pragmatically speaking, the Bangka Belitung province now is focusing more on reviving tourism first. So focus on whichever come first, whether domestic travelers, travelers, tourists from Indonesia can come to Bangka Belitung so much as the tourism can recover pretty soon instead of focusing too much on travel from abroad because there are many, difficulties, right, at this point of time. Would you say such a way to attract more tourists, from including from Indonesia to Bangka Belitung, and hopefully soon from abroad? Yeah, great. Thank you, Professor Saparudin. Now, I'd like to move to our second speaker, Deputy Minister of Uzbekistan, Excellency Furqat Siddiqov. My question to you, Excellency, as we know, tourism all over the world has been heavily impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. Some areas, the infection of COVID-19 is still high, some other areas are still low. So there are disparity in this sense. There are a variety of situation and level of suffering from one country to another. As much as Uzbekistan, as you said, had a number of regulation, had provided free visa regime, have canceled restrictions gradually to a number of countries. But given this variety of situation from different countries, what do you think is the key to recovery in tourism for Uzbekistan at this point of time to revive the Islamic tourism and halal hospitality inside the country at the moment?
Yeah, thanks so much. It's a very good question. Yes, pandemic was a very big surprise for everyone, even for leading countries and developing countries. Nobody was ready to, properly react to this challenge, of course. But at the same time, from the beginning of this pandemic, Uzbekistan took very strong measures to prevent this virus. So I can tell you that from the beginning of the pandemic by right now, total infected people in Uzbekistan closely to 8,000 people. In the 95% of these people already recovered. And unfortunately, from the beginning for now, we lost like close to 2,000 people only. But still, we lost these people because of virus. Right now, the pandemic situation in Uzbekistan is very sustainable, very low. We just in eve of the third wave, but at the same time, we have like 200, maybe less than 200 affected people day by day. But at the same time, there is like in Uzbekistan, this pandemic become like seasonal flu. In our population right now, 35 million, but more than 60% of the population are under the 30 years old. So for us, easy to, and we have very strong restriction. We find out a very good balance between restrictions and the openings of society, openings of business, especially tourism. And Alhamdulillah, our people were disciplined and they're wearing the mask, they're keeping the social distance, and they're just, following all instructions of the government regarding the preventing the virus. So it will help us to keep this virus in some low level. comparing with the other countries. The first. Second, yes, you rightly said that touristic section is mostly suffered from pandemic, but at the same time is most of the promising sector in the world because tourism is, day by day improving. So in this case, I think right now we have to think how we can work together and we have to create some kind of mechanism to recover the tourism sector post-pandemic period. So we're working on it now. We're working on conception of the safe tourism. So people who will come to Uzbekistan from airport to hotel and traveling areas, which we will provide so-called safe tourism. And as you know that Uzbekistan is one of the popular destination for Muslim tourism. I already mentioned that we have famous Islamic cities in the world like Samarkand, Bukhara, Hiva, and we have all, we call it that Islamic science who promoted enlightened Islam in the world like Imam al-Bukhari, Imam al-Tirmidhi, Bahud and Nashbandi. Then at the same time, today we're using the smartphones, everyone, but we have to say thank you for Al-Harazmi, which established, Logistics 0101. And very less people know that it was created by Muslim science like Imam al-Harazmi. So I think that Islamic tourism very promising area for us because today I have seen the potential of Indonesia. I was so surprised with the beautiful cities, beautiful Islamic places to see. Everyone know about Turkey. Turkey, one of the very beautiful destination for travel. But at the same time, you see today each country show own touristic places. But at the same time, we have to understand that it's our common heritage. Because Imam al-Bukhari belonged to all of us. Everyone respects Imam al-Bukhari. Everyone would like to see Samarkand, Bukhara, and everyone would like to go to see Turkey, to see, a lot of beautiful mosques in Turkey. And good thing that is our common heritage. So we have to take chance to work together, and we have to see Islamic tourism not like only tourism. It's we have to consider it like, let's say, Islamic public diplomacy, because it will help us to bring our countries to close. And at the same time, I would like to say thank you because today, for me as a deputy minister, was interesting to see how our Brazil country, what kind of measures they're taking to prevent pandemic and what kind of measures they're taking to recover the touristic sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. So I quote your answers, how important it is that all these three cities or three Islamic tourism destinations share common heritage, right? There are commonalities that we share regarding Islamic values, the spiritual culture that we share, and enormous opportunity that we all have, be it in Indonesia, Turkey, and Uzbekistan, can definitely be one of the key factors of the recovery, because in the end, no one is recovered until everyone is recovered, right? So it takes collaboration, as you said, in order to revive tourism that has huge potential, that needs help right after the pandemic situation is more manageable. And hopefully we will get through this pandemic and we will get the tourism recovered soon, and future potential opportunity collaboration that can happen between all these places that share the common heritage. And have you been to Indonesia, Deputy Minister?
No, my friend Furkan and my ambassador, they're working together. So very soon, inshallah, I will come.
That's great.
Indonesia, biggest Islamic country, and you see that we have very common Islamic heritage. Our traditions and our values are the same. Only one problem between us is the logistic issues, but my ambassador, Mr. Rupul, he's working very hard. Inshallah, we will restore some direct flights between two countries. Believe me, tourism should be both sides. And I am sure that when you will properly promote Indonesia, many Uzbeks will be happy to go to Indonesia.
Great. Yeah, hopefully you will be able to visit Indonesia very soon, Deputy Minister. Thank you so much. Now to Deputy Mayor, Mr. Ahmad Yildiz. I have a question to you, a little bit specific, because aside of politician, you yourself is a businessman, right? In one of your slides, you mentioned about how the 7 countries that visit your municipality, your city, for a majority of number of the tourists, but different nationality has different inclination to stay in terms of amount of stay, the days, right? Qatari Arabic tourist has different number of stay, 2 or 3 days, and Indonesia a little bit shorter. So why is it the case in Islamic tourism? What are some of the factors to have some other people from different nationality retain more than the others? Is it something that relates to entertainment, the food, the lack of affordability option? What are some of the factors that you think is important for Islamic tourists to visit Bursa, for example?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I would like to say that, Indonesian people, first they went to Istanbul. They are visiting Istanbul. Then they come to Bursa. But Istanbul is so big. The population is nearly 20 million. Our population is 3.1 million. And they spend more time in Istanbul. Then when they have a little limited time, they come to Bursa. But we want that because in Bursa, I think it's more than 1,000 people staying, especially students. They are studying in Bursa, Indonesian people. And Indonesian ambassador, sometimes he's coming to Bursa and we are having program. He's a really good friend of mine, Mr. Muhammad Iqbal. He's a very nice guy and he's always coming here, doing some programs in here. What else we can say? Ne dememiz gerekiyor başka?
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor. So that is one of the factors, apparently, that affect the decision of different people or different tourists to stay in Bursa for a certain period.
We can promote more, but especially, first of all, we have to vaccination everybody. This is the most important thing. Now in Bursa, our government vaccinated nearly 30%, but nowadays it is increasing a lot because we are very fast in vaccination because we took medicines, vaccinated, and 30% of the people vaccinated. But I think not just Bursa or Turkey, I think all over the world who is traveling has to be vaccinated.
Yeah. So vaccination rate is increasing in Bursa and hopefully, and that includes the people working in the tourism sector, right? So hopefully.
COVID is decreasing now. We opened many places and in the 1st of July, we will open everywhere because it decreased a lot.
Okay. Yeah, we are hopeful about that. And hopefully the Islamic tourism can recover pretty soon. Now, I have a general question that can be answered by any speakers of our discussion today. That is about the halal tourism. As you know that I believe in each of the countries here, Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey has already established certain standard for the halal certification. And I would like to perhaps address this question to Professor Saparudin first. Bapak Saparudin, tentang certification, halal certification. You also mentioned in one of the presentation about halal certification. Bapak Saparudin, are you with me? Bapak bisa mendengarkan? Professor Saparudin, are you with me? Can you hear my voice? Okay, so while we are trying, Professor, we are talking about halal certification now, tentang sertifikasi halal. Do you think there are opportunities where halal tourism in Bangka Belitung can explore, some sort of partnership with Uzbekistan and Turkey. Bisa ada kerjasama kira-kira antara Turki dan Uzbekistan dengan Bangka Belitung terkait halal tourism ini, Bapak? Apakah mungkin ada rencana ke depannya atau bagaimana? Atau mungkin ide-ide yang bisa kita explore? Silakan Prof. Saparudin, if you may want to jump in. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I don't hear.
Okay,
you.
can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No. Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Gimana?
So we were talking about the halal tourism. Would you think there are some opportunities that can be explored in regards to halal tourism in Bangka Belitung with Bursa, for example, or other parts of Uzbekistan? What would it be? What kind of partnership that we can bridge in halal tourism? Kira-kira ada nggak, Pak, kerjasama yang bisa diciptakan terkait halal tourism?
Okay. I think the halal tourism in Bangka Belitung, we initiative the halal tourism in Bangka Belitung in hotel, restaurant, and food, and halal, and the government give the hotel and a restaurant give the certificate of halal food, halal in the facility in the hotel, and the government give the regulation for the that the halal in the hotel in Bangka and in the Belitung. In the future, Bangka Belitung will be collaborate in the Uzbekistan and Bursa City. I think the collaborate can be now to explore in the between the governor and governor of Bangka Belitung and the governor in Uzbekistan and Turkey. I think that will be going on.
Right. So given the regulation and certification that exist already in Bangka Belitung, perhaps there are, given these commonalities that these three part of the world share, there are, potential partnership in terms of maybe food export, crafts, creative sector, would you say, Saparudin, that can be exchanged, between these three countries in order to attract more mobility, in order to attract more tourists visiting each other, Uzbekistan, Turkey, and Indonesia, including Bangka Belitung. And in my point of view, Prof. Saparudin, as much as there are commonalities between these three places, there are differences as well. There are different emphasis. For example, from Bangka Belitung, the video showed us the beautiful nature. Aside of
the video.
Right. So there are different as well, different angle of the tourism itself. that can be emphasized in order to attract more people to visit Bangka Belitung, Bursa, as well as Uzbekistan. Now, allow me to move to Excellency Furqat Siddiqov. Your Excellency, I remembered you mentioned a number of partnerships that has been conducted with Indonesia. So indeed, Indonesia and Uzbekistan has established a strong relationship, diplomatic bilateral relation, including in tourism sector. Now, right after entering the recovery phase of pandemic situation, would you think there are a number of focuses that needs to be highlighted or to be improved in terms of bridging partnership with Indonesia in halal tourism? What's the opportunity there? Sorry, Minister, Deputy Minister, if you can unmute.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
great.
Yes.
No worries.
No, I think there is a big potential, let's say unlocked potential between Indonesia and Uzbekistan on, let's say, on halal industry. I already shared with you about the halal industry system in Uzbekistan, the halal certification system. We already established laboratories and we are closely working with our Muslim brothers about this. So, but today I would like to invite Indonesian investors to Uzbekistan to establish joint ventures for organizing, re-exporting some products to neighboring countries. For example, Uzbekistan right now, biggest exporter of the vegetables and fruits in the region, and we every year exporting more than $4 billion to Middle East and our neighbor countries, fruits and vegetables. And I would like to say that 90% of our fruits and vegetables are organic. And I would like to say my dear friend Farhan has a chance to test it in Uzbekistan, and he knows, for example, if you put our melon to your room, all room will be filled, smell like melon. So what I'm saying that, you see, we have a lot of potential for exporting fruits and vegetables and other things, juices. But at the same time, we needed some cooperation, some technology on food processing for the industry. So I think that Indonesian investors could come to Uzbekistan to establish food processing joint ventures and to organize re-exporting our goods, joint goods to the different markets. For example, let's say South Asian markets. There's Pakistan, there's India, the other countries. There are more than already 2 billion people, and we were well connected with this region. So I think there's a big potential, and there's a lot of very good, we still have very good condition for investors. I think that because, I think the halal industry just in the age, or let's say in the eve of the new second area of the, because now we can see a lot of interest to halal and that's the halal food. So I think we have to work together. There's a big potential to work together, not only about halal, but maybe we'll have to think about how we can promote, together to make some documentary or to some kind of this kind of events to promote Islamic tourism itself, because halal tourism is an integrated part of Islamic tourism.
Interesting, Excellency. Although perhaps food is not directly, related to tourism, but interrelated, right? Because who doesn't eat? Everyone eats food. And of course, Muslim people would love to eat not only high quality, but also high standard of halal certification of food, vegetable, fruits, juices, and other type of foods, as you said. And perhaps, with these potential opportunities, it could also grow connection or cultural ties between Indonesia and Uzbekistan people if there are products from both countries in each countries, and of course that would also trigger interest among the population of Indonesia as well as Uzbekistan to visit each other and eventually support the Islamic and halal tourism. Thank you, Deputy Minister. And move to Deputy Mayor. What's your view on this? What would you think the main focus for Bursa in order to potentially in the future collaborate with, Uzbekistan and then Indonesia in this regard after listening to the presentation of our two other speakers.
Even I agree with our another speakers, and both with Indonesia and Uzbekistan, we need to find the ways to cooperate more than education and business sectors. Like for example, because when these sectors develop a long-term sustainable tourism. For example, when the student come to here in long term, their family is coming, their friends are coming, then they know more about Bursa. And that student is doing more marketing to their family, friends, and this kind of people. But even these sectors develop a long-term sustainable tourism. Bursa is a very strong in textiles, automotives, agricultures, history, and we have two universities they can come and educate. These kind of things I can say. I think this time moderator is not there, right? You hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Ahmed, but the moderator lost.
I'm sorry, I think the moderator
No,
is
you are
having
the moderator.
technical difficulties. He's logging in
Please.
again right now.
Yeah,
Ah,
apologies
second.
for technicalities. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. So apologies,
You hold it.
honorable speakers. These are some of the challenges as well, right? When we talk about not only pandemic, but also the context of the pandemic, that we communicate through technology, but sometimes it just, difficult glitches appears. But yeah, are you done with your answer, Deputy Mayor?
Yes, I already done.
Okay, great. So yeah, I noted what you said earlier about sustainable tourism and how we can take the opportunity that we have today while we are still in the phase of pause, let's say, with tourism. There are many time for us to think about how we can improve the tourism sectors to be more sustainable, and in the future that could be better implemented and can provide a better prosperity for our people as well. Great. So Professor Sabaruddin, Deputy Minister and Deputy Mayor, we have a number of questions from our audience here, and allow me to also mention some of them, and then to allow you to answer those questions as well. The first question, let me read one of them. Yeah. Okay, so the first question. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Fahrid Mudori, Indonesian student from Yangzhou Polytechnic College in China. So we have a question here from China to the speaker. I want to ask how we face the challenge on situations such as trade war between China and the United States, the global warming issues including, and the political dynamics around the globe. What would the young generation can need to act in regards to this, global dynamics? Perhaps if we can link back to our, our topic today regarding Islamic tourism, because some of even tourism sector products requires global supply chain and perhaps requires certain elements from different part of the world, right? We export, but also import a number of items from US, China, and as well as different parts of the globe.
So what do you think? Do you think some of this dynamics can also impact to tourism and includes Islamic tourism, and then how we can, react towards this political dynamic that we have? Perhaps I can go to Deputy Minister first, given your background. Minister, the time is yours.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And
Yeah.
the sometimes trick question. No, but as a diplomat, I can say that there's no any problems which cannot be solved through negotiation. So I think that everything should be going negotiation. And I think I think today we have to think about the, this unique opportunity to discuss about Islamic tourism and discuss about halal tourism. And I think during this meeting, we should focus on these issues mostly, not go away from the, losing focus will not help us to, find out the new point of the improving our relationship during the through the Islamic tourism. And regarding the trade wars, everything, it will be happening. It's happening from the beginning. It will happen. So no problem. That's why we have a diplomat. We have who are working, who are discussing, and I believe that through negotiations we will solve any issues and any that's problem of the diplomacy.
Right. Thank you, Minister. And I think I will just move to another questions that I think can fit to other speakers as well. I think I would address this to Deputy Mayor, Mr. Ahmed Yildiz. From FIDIA, how involved is the younger generation in the conception and development of halal tourism in your respective municipality or even country? So now we talk about the role of young people. Are there a significant role of young people in the development of conception of the halal tourism in Bursa and in Republic of Turkey? Mr. Ahmed Yildiz? Hello? Can you hear me? Sorry, I think you are still muted. Yeah, we can hear you now. Can you hear the question? Yes.
Sorry, no, the voice is gone. Can you?
Okay. But you can hear me now, right? Yeah, great. So the question from our friend here, whose name is Vidya, how involved is the younger people in the conception and the development of halal tourism strategies in your countries and municipality?
Hello, do you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear? Yes, I can hear you now. Great.
No, it is important for young generations to support halal tourism. And our municipality, even I am in young generation, and I am the youngest deputy mayor all over the Turkey. And this is so important because...
Sorry, I think you are muted again. Deputy Mayor, we cannot hear you. No, we cannot hear you. Suddenly, the voice disappeared. Hello, can you hear? Okay, perhaps. No, we cannot. Perhaps we will go back to you, Deputy Mayor, after we resolve some technical problem. Now, allow me to go to Professor Sabarudin. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm ready. Yes.
Okay, great. So I think I will ask you the same question from the audience as well. How involved or how important do you think the role of young people in providing or developing the conception of halal tourism in Bangka Belitung? The role of young people here.
I think the uh, I think now the young people have a challenge. Yeah, the young people have the challenge to as a marketing of the halal tourism. Uh, why? Because the young people, have familiar in the social media, in the Facebook and the Twitter and the other social media. I think the young people uh, have a strong to the developing to the marketing of the halal tourism I think in the world, in the Indonesia and especially in the Bangka Belitung. I think so, Mr. Niwa. Thanks.
Right. Very interesting point. Given the tech-savvy population of young generation, of course, they do have potential to be part of the marketing strategy, or
Yes.
taking the role is marketing
Yes.
the potential of halal tourism.
Yes, I think the government to give the facility to the young generation to the as the young marketing to the halal tourism. I think so.
Right, that's great. It's great to know that there has been engagement, yeah,
Yes.
Bapak, with the young people in Bangka Belitung in order to develop and further enhance the halal tourism in your region. That's very great indeed. Okay, and this one question is very interesting as well. From Nardi Pratomo from MUI, province Bangka Belitung. His question is halal certificate mandatory or voluntary in your country? And then, is the halal industrial area successful? And how is the strategy of your respective country or city in order to develop this? I think I'll go to Deputy Mayor. If you probably have resolved some technical problems, we can hopefully hear you now. Mr. Ahmed Yildiz, do you think? No, we cannot hear you, unfortunately.
The halal.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, we can hear you now.
The
Perfect.
halal certificate, it is not meant to be.
Okay.
It's not meant to take halal certificate.
Okay, but is it part of the big program for Bursa or Turkey in order to improve the economy in general, or even halal tourism?
In Bursa, most of the restaurants and others, they have. But even if they don't have, they're, because in Bursa, 99% is Muslim city. And there is no need to take halal certificate, but just to show. But 100% is halal in Bursa.
Okay. It's not issue.
So it's not a big issue for any Muslim to visit Bursa, right?
Normally, for me, it is not a big issue, but some people need that.
Right. So would it be one of the program in the future to make it certificated? I don't know how important it is for tourists internationally to be able to get such a certificate that mention this one halal with official logo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is companies that they are giving that certificate, but I say again, normally 90% people, they don't ask halal certificate because especially Bursa is historical and religious city.
Right.
That's why they don't need to ask in here. Maybe 99% they don't ask. maybe in 1 day, 2 days, one person is gonna ask that certificate.
Right, great.
Yes.
So in general, people are safe, right? People feel safe that the food and the products there are halal. So there's no doubt in regards to this issue.
We have parts. For example, Antalya is in south. Many
Yeah.
people come there from all countries, but Bursa, especially Muslims coming here.
Huh.
There is tourism is different. Bursa tourism is different. That's why whoever come to Bursa, mostly they know that here is a religious city. That's why they don't need that kind of certificate. They don't ask, I mean. But most of the restaurants and cafes, they have that certificate.
Okay, interesting. So there is a special niche for Bursa and the tourist landscape in regards to halal certification. Now, Minister Excellency Furkat Siddiqov, you want to have a say on this, the halal certification in Uzbekistan?
You know, Uzbekistan was one of the center of Islamic civilization, and we have strong Islamic traditions. We still having very high Islamic moralism. So I think Islamic halal certification is not problem in Uzbekistan. I already mentioned that we implemented in the restaurants everywhere halal food system. We are having some laboratories about certifications. Mostly for us, is this certification about the goods which we export into Islamic countries. Mostly in Uzbekistan, nobody interested. They know that food is safe and all food halal in Uzbekistan. But we established laboratories. We implemented halal food system in Uzbekistan, mostly for goods which we exporting to neighboring countries, to Islamic countries.
Okay, great. So it has been one of the priority for Uzbekistan, and we believe it should not be a problem in terms of developing the halal tourism in Uzbekistan. Pak Saparudin, you have anything? Yeah.
You know, implementing halal food certification in Uzbekistan helped us to increase our export to Islamic world. So it's one of the good
export and imports.
Yeah, to increase export.
Okay, that's great, especially of course to Islam populated countries, including Indonesia and Turkey. Right. That's great. Pak Saparudin, you have anything to say in regards to this?
Yes.
Is it obligatory to have halal certification in Bangka Belitung, for example?
For Indonesia, especially in Bangka Belitung,
Right.
although Indonesia is a country with a majority Muslim population, which is 90%, but Indonesia is not an Islamic country. So in Bangka Belitung, I have think so. In Bangka Belitung have 30% population is not a Muslim. So the tourists come to Bangka Belitung can from Singapore, from Malaysia, from China, and so on, from the country is not Muslim. We must to the halal food from the government to give the restaurant in the hotel, restaurant in the not hotel, and also many restaurants in the Bangka Belitung. I think the issue in Bangka Belitung, issue for tourists come to Bangka Belitung. I think so.
Okay, great. Thank you, Prof. Saparudin. So Friends, ladies and gentlemen, those are a very discussion with all of our three speakers today in regards to Islamic tourism destination development during and post-pandemics. Unfortunately, I've been informed by the committee that we are entering the end of the time. But indeed, from the past, I don't feel like we've been talked for 2 hours, but we have been talking to almost 2 hours, and with a number of very interesting discussion today, and what kind of opportunities of partnership that can be developed in the years to come, and how can we recover from the pandemic COVID-19. And before we close, I think it would be great if we could hear final message from each of our speaker in regards to the topic that we have today. Now, I think first of all, I would like to give the floor to Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Excellency Furkat Siddiqov, to provide a closing statement for this discussion today.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was very, conference, and it was very attractive and very useful because I learned a lot from Indonesia and about Indonesia and about the halal certification. And more interesting thing that during this huge interest to pay visit to Uzbekistan, and I have seen huge interest among the participants that to share our common Islamic heritage between each other. And it means that Islamic tourism, Ziyarah tourism has a big potential, and we have to work together, to promote Islamic tourism, promote Ziyarah tourism in Uzbekistan, in Indonesia, in Turkey. And I already mentioned, I believe that Ziyarah tourism is one of the public diplomacy, which could be very, effective mechanism to enhance bilateral cooperation. Because through Islamic tourism, through Ziyarah tourism, we will learn each other. You see that one time I told you that there's a two problems between us. One of them is logistic and connectivity issues, which we can solve. Another problem among us is that lack of information. Unfortunately, we Muslim brother countries, we don't know much about each other. So through this video conference, we can share our souls, we can share our history, and more important, today, I one more time become confident that we had very great common past, and today I believe that we have very great, very bright future, which go together. And again, I would like to thank you to organize this kind of conference. I will be happy if you could invite me in the next kind of the conferences. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. A round of applause virtually because we are not meeting in person, but thank you so much for your participation. It's great. Now, I'd like to provide the floor to Deputy Mayor, Mr. Ahmad Yildiz, to provide the closing statement for the discussion today.
Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to be here. And I believe we have a chance to huge potential for the Islamic tourism. And now, with the vacation going around all the world, we do and hope it's in the future. But this hope depends on the speed to coverage and vaccination efforts of countries. After the pandemic, to speed a recovery will depend on many factors. But until the pandemic ends, the tourism sector must be kept alive with the governmental supports, and domestic tourism should be promoted before international tourism restarts. Traveler confidence and on safety should be restored by providing clear information to travelers and businesses and limiting uncertainty. Measures should be taken to maintain the capacity of sectors. Cooperation within and between countries should be strengthened. And it is really nice to see you in here, my brothers and my sisters. I hope we would love to host you in Bursa, inshallah.
Inshallah, I mean. Thank Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor, for a very memorable final remark from yours. And thank you for the participation. The next one, Professor Saparudin, if you could provide your final remark.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Niwadi Tama, moderator in this forum. Thank you, Mr. Furkat Sidikov, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Uzbekistan, Mr. Ahmed Yildiz, Deputy Mayor, Bursa, Metropolitan Turkey. I think I very great in this afternoon. I think the presentation in discussion from each speaker from Uzbekistan and Turkey, I would like to convey a message from the governor of Bangka Belitung. He stated the importance of talking the further about the cooperation between Bangka Belitung and Uzbekistan and Turkey. I think the via the Overseas Student Association Alliance and from the Global Initiative Network Institute, Mr. Farhan and Mr. Hairul Anam. I think we hope keep the collaboration, have the collaboration in Bangka Belitung and Uzbekistan. And thank you very much for your attention. Salam from Governor Bangka Belitung. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Saparudin. And please send our regards to the governor of Bangka Belitung as well. Thank you for the participation of our discussion today. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our discussion today. It's very lively, it's very productive. We've learned a lot from our three honorable speakers and also experts. I think we learned how the best practices in order to revive the Islamic tourism in across these three countries in terms of improving halal tourism in general, in terms of logistics, connectivity, lack of information, for example, but also to improve the protocol, the health protocol, in order for us to revive tourism. And I think last but not the least, it is not excessive or exaggerating for us to say that everyone is safe until everyone is safe. So it's truly important for us to be able to get into the recovery phase of pandemic situation, to collaborate each other. The common heritage that has been mentioned in the discussion quite a lot is an opportunity to be able to have partnership between the three countries, be it Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey. And inshallah, hopefully all of you, honorable speakers, can be able to visit each other once the COVID situation is more manageable in the near future, hopefully. Amin. Inshallah.
Amin. Inshallah.
All right. Thank you very much, Excellency Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Uzbekistan, Excellency Furkat Sidikov. Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor of Bursa, Mr. Ahmed Yildiz, and thank you so much, Professor Saparudin. That's the end of the session today, and my apologies should there be any mistake and technical problem. And all the best to you all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I give the floor back to the Master of Ceremony.
Thank you very much, Mr. Niwadwitama, as our moderator, and also to all our speaker, Mr. Saparudin Masharif, on behalf of Mr. Erzaldi Rosman Johan, and for His Excellency, Mr. Furkat Sidikov, and also Mr. Ahmed Yildiz. for providing us with amazing insight regarding halal tourism and also Islamic tourism destinations development during and post COVID-19 pandemic. We sincerely hope that all the insight provided by this discussion could help us to get through these difficult times together and create better international relationship between Islamic countries like Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and Turkey. Now, after the discussion, we shall enjoy the second performance and also the closing performance of Indonesian traditional dambus music from Saka Widya Budaya Bakti, Bangka Belitung Islands. It is actually a sacred music of Bangka, Indonesia, where it represents prosperity and thus often being utilized to honor guests like our speakers today and to celebrate big events in Bangka Belitung. Please enjoy the performance. Okay, that was Dambus Music by Saka Widya Budaya Bakti from Bangka Belitung Island. And on behalf of the event organizers, we sincerely thank you for coming, and we would like to announce that we are currently receiving donations for our main program in OISAA, which is Parama. It is an empowerment program for Indonesian rural area, which will take place in Pongok Village, Bangka Belitung Islands this July. The bank and the electronic account for the donations for the international guests, we can provide PayPal for the donations. It can be seen on the screen right now, and the poster will also be shared in the Telegram group. And we will be very grateful for your donations. Now that we have arrived at the end of Parama Festival 3.0 Top Leader Forum, may we ask to all the speakers, moderators, and participants to turn on your camera and join us in the photo session. For the operator, please lead the photo session.
Okay, may all the participants open their camera. I will start the photo session. First, I would like to take a picture of all the speakers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Thank you very much. And then for the participants, for the first slide. 1, 2, 3. Second slide. You guys may open your camera. 1, 2, 3. Slide. 1, 2, 3. Fourth slide. And fifth slide. Thank you. Get back to you, Sister Vidya.
Thank you very much. Now, this photo session actually concludes our main event for today. We thank you very much for attending our seminar. And on behalf of the event, I wish you a very good day and sorry for the interruption and also other technical difficulties that have occurred. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, everyone. All the best.